Tracking your health now at 5:30. The new school year is fast approaching, and with it, all the familiar illnesses causing germs. So what can parents, teachers, and kids do to keep the flu and other bugs at bay? Well, it all starts with proper hand washing, and this is just the beginning of having a healthy school year. Joining us now is Dr. Jillian Weissman of Tallahassee Memorial Family Medicine Residency Program. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Talk with us about how important is immunization?
You know, immunizations are very, very important. I think the first thing I always like to tell patients is that they're safe. You know, they have been approved by the FDA to be given to patients, and they prevent disease. It's just very important to make sure that your kid is up to date on their vaccines as well. And that's why I always recommend that patients take their child for an annual examination and where they can make sure that their kid's up to date for vaccines for the school year.
Because a lot of times the kids can't go to school if they haven't gotten those immunizations.
Exactly.
And it seems like, too, more kids are carrying around more books. Those backpacks are just getting so heavy. So what are the risks? What happens when those kids are carrying the backpacks, and what can they do to possibly avoid that?
Absolutely. Again, this is a question we get all the time. You know, my kid is carrying around his entire locker on his backpack. You know, the main thing I think is important is that, firstly, have your kid carry what they need to carry. Don't carry extra things. Take home only the schoolwork that you need. Another thing I recommend is one of those good sturdy backpacks that goes on both shoulders. While those messenger bags are cute, they really don't support the back as it needs to be supported and can cause muscle strain. And that can be one of the long-term effects, is muscle strain and even nerve impingement by wearing such heavy backpacks and kind of cutting off circulation.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
for sure. And talk with us about sleep. One thing I'm not getting as a new mom. How important is sleep for kids, and what happens if they don't get enough sleep?
Oh, sleep is so important. I mean, obviously we always say sleep heals everything, illness, everything. You know, kids, the younger they are, the more sleep they need. So I would say, talking about adolescent age, 9 to 10 hours is really what's recommended for kids. And if they don't get enough sleep, I don't think they do as well in school. You know, you need the sleep to keep your brain awake and to really succeed in the school year.
And of course, kids are getting off of summer where they probably have had lax rules about when they're going to bed and when they're waking up. So how can parents help them get in the habit of, A, going to bed earlier, and 2, waking up to that alarm clock? Well,
again, I always recommend maybe starting a week before the school year starts by having a set bedtime and a set time that they wake up. And that can start to get them kind of on that regimen. And also good sleep habits. So no cell phones, no computers, no television, really making the room more conducive to sleep. Dark, cool, quiet, things like that can really help the child sleep. And I always say no caffeine before bedtime.
Because of course the jitters from the caffeine, they already have the jitters for the new school year coming up, but don't need that extra jitter.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse. Cass, I know you're also following the weather for kids going back to school on Monday.